on the Hart Indians. Hi everybody, and thanks for joining us here on SCVTV. I'm Dave Caldwell. These two teams, the Hart Indians and the Valencia Vikings, as my esteemed partner will shortly tell you, it could be football, it could be basketball, and he said it before, it could be tiddlywinks. The passions that come out when Valencia plays against Hart, no matter what the sport, it's always high, and we've got it for you here tonight on SCVTV. Now, since it's boys basketball, this is the second half of the Foothill League season. 5 games are in the books. We've got 5 more to play. Let's take a look at the standings the way they are right now. You'll see that sitting on top, the Canyon Cowboys and the Golden Valley Grizzlies, both at 4-1. Canyon coming off that tough loss against West Ranch on Tuesday night. Valencia at 3-2 is in the 3rd spot. Hart is down there at 0-5. Let me bring in Greg Herrick now with this. And Greg, as you can see with that, Valencia is just holding on to that number 3 spot. Top half that you like to talk about, and that's the half that will go on in the playoffs, but they don't like being in 3rd.
No, it's like holding on to the edge at the pier and ready to fall off into oblivion. They're right there. They're only 1 game behind the leaders, which is a good spot, but a lot of times when you got 2 teams ahead of you, 1 game ahead, it's a little more difficult because more things have to happen. Tonight, like you said, the Hart Indians and the Valencia Vikings, if they were playing out on the street, it would be bloodshed. These 2 teams have a history of playing very close and very competitive games. I don't suspect that this one will be any different.
Let's talk about the Hart Indians here. They're the home team here tonight. The Indians are 0-5. They're 5-17 overall in the basketball season. That is not very like a Tom Kelly team. Tom Kelly now in his 10th year as the head coach for the Hart Indians. But this is a young team. Only 2 seniors on this team, 3 sophomores on this team. In fact, Greg, when you look at the starting lineup for the Hart Indians, there is not a single senior in that group.
No, and they do only have 2 seniors, like you alluded to, on their team. It's very young. A couple weeks ago, I talked to Tom Kelly, and I said, you know, you're having a bad season. He said, I like my team. I like my team. He kept reiterating that. Tonight before the game, I talked to him and he said, I love my team. That's very unusual for a 5-17, but that's the kind of, connection, relationship he has with his players. And watch out next year. They may be really on the rise.
Top guy for the Hart Indians, the guy that Tom Kelly talks about the most, Roman Delgado. He is a junior on the team, 5'10". He averages 12 points a game. And Greg, when Tom starts talking about Roman Delgado, he gets pretty excited because this young man can certainly play. And don't ever expect to see him off the floor unless he is being forced off the floor by injury or he's fouled out.
The kind of player that you say to him, you're okay, despite what he could have a broken arm, you're okay. He's going to hear that a whole bunch of times tonight. Get your rest during the free throws. You're okay. And he's going to hear that a whole bunch of times because he needs to be on the floor for the Hart Indians to have a chance tonight against the Vikings.
Let's talk for the Valencia Vikings. Of course, Lonnie Jackson. We all know about Lonnie. He's the leading scorer in the Foothill League, but he can't do it alone. And there's a guy that is doing it for him on the boards. Tanner Tredick is the 2nd leading rebounder on this team, just 2 behind Jackson. But offensively, Greg, he has pulled down 41 offensive rebounds. That's averaging right around 2 a game. That is a huge, huge element of basketball, not just the glory going to the scorers, but the guys who are working down low, getting beat up, and being able to put up some defensive numbers as well.
Well, double T's, like they call him on the team, is a hard worker. It's a guy that I call the lunch pail player. Brings his lunch every day to work. He sets the hearts. He gets Lonnie Jackson available on pick and rolls. He guards the best player on the other team, and he battles bigger guys on the boards. I bet you he has as many bruises as Lonnie Jackson has baskets.
Let's settle in and get ready. Here we go. Hart against Valencia. SCVTV's presentation of Foothill League basketball. The Valencia Vikings taking on those Hart Indians. We've got the tip-off right after this. Hart High School not quite full to capacity tonight.
And now the starting
lineup's getting introduced to this crowd here. As the Hart Indians about to get introduced to the home crowd, the Vikings already being introduced. And Greg, what are you thinking? What are you expecting here for this game? I mean, obviously the Valencia Vikings, having lost 2 games in the first half, they need to continue winning to stay in the hunt. 3rd place is theirs right now. That's the final playoff spot as they go on. The Hart Indians playing for Hart right now?
Well, it's two teams actually going in different directions. You know, you have the Hart Indians losers of 13 out of 14, and you've got the Valencia Vikings winners of 11 out of 13. So they're going in different directions. I was watching the warm-ups a little earlier, and, you know, the Hart Indians just don't look like they have a lot of energy. You know, maybe this season is done for them. You know, they're going to come out here and play, but they don't look like they're playing with a lot of energy, and they don't have anything to play for, and that's kind of tough sometimes. Now, we've always talked about the rivalry between the two schools, and if you're going to play for if you don't have playoffs in your future.
As you mentioned, the Hart Indians, they've lost their last 7 games, lost 13 of their last 14 games. The Indians are going to put Alex Sporer, Roman Delgado, Austin Maley, Justin Edens, and Cole Preston onto the floor. For the Vikings, Jake Kelfer, Brandon Bennett, Lonnie Jackson, Tanner Tredick, and Zach Davis, a sophomore. Interesting to note, Greg, that when you start looking at the ages of the 10 players that are out there, only 2 of the 10 players, and both of them coming from Valencia, are seniors. There is as many sophomores on the court as there are seniors.
Well, when you don't have any hope to make the playoffs, that's what you got to do if you're a program, and that's build for the future, and that's what Tom Kelly's trying to do.
So the Vikings controlling the tip. This is Jake Kelfer. He's a junior. Gives the ball to Jackson. Jackson giving it to Tredick, who's left wide open. Dumps it underneath to Jackson, and the scoring parade begins, and we're already just 18 seconds into the game.
The Vikings are going to put on this 2-2-1 press to try to choke the Hart Indians right out of this game early.
This is Austin Maley, 5'9" sophomore, giving the ball over to Sporer. Then on top, it's Delgado. Cole Preston. Back to Delgado. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Into the corner, shooting the 3 is Sporer. The ball missing. Rebound comes to Davis for the Vikings. Kick out. Bennett for 3. He's got it.
And you can see the difference between the Vikings and the Indians right now. Just the energy level and the switching up, trying to find something that works this early. Just not running your normal sets or hurt the Indians, and they're trapping them all over the place.
Edens into the corner to Sporer. Back up on top to Maley. Into the wing to Preston. This is Maley for 3, top of the key. That ball is going to go behind the backboard. It is saved by Tredick, but he does a smart thing. He turns and he throws the ball off the legs of Justin Edens. Goes out of bounds, so Valencia will have the basketball.
You know, sometimes it's difficult for a team like Valencia to play this game. You know, they, as a coach, you tell kids, you got to play no matter what the other team's record is. You got to play, because we're getting ready to play some better teams as we go.
There's Lonnie Jackson. That's a long 2-pointer for Jackson. He shoots 48% from the field, leading scorer in the Foothill League, and perhaps the sweetest jump shot in the league as well.
No question about that.
That was Maley with the shot from the corner. His shot no good. Tredick pulls down one of those rebounds so well. Jackson. Tredick. Bennett for 3. Nothing but net. That's the third 3-pointer drained by Brandon Bennett. He shoots 30% from behind the arc, 17 of 57 on the season, and Tom Kelly quickly calls a timeout. 10-0, the Vikings have jumped out in this lead, and we have played 2 minutes and 17 seconds of the basketball game.
Oh, well, usually there's point spreads in the game that you take a timeout, and in this case, 10 points, double figures is the one which you're behind by 10. That's when you take the timeout. I mean, the Vikings are having their way. This is a good game for them because they can get other players involved other than Lonnie Jackson trying to beat the other team by himself. So, and they're getting some play out of some of their other players. You know, Brandon Bennett had hit a shot there, and Tredick's doing a good job. This is a great opportunity to get other players involved for the Vikings.
Indians with the basketball. Roman Delgado getting across that 10-second line. Gets it into the right corner to Preston. Preston, a junior, 6'3". Back up on top to Delgado. Sporer. Delgado looking to try some inside penetration. He's going to get it over to Preston off the backboard. No good. Rebound comes down to Bennett. Jackson finds his spot. Nothing but net. What a jump shot this kid's got.
And, you know, the time that Valencia's had trouble in the league is when people run their gimmick defenses on them. And these other teams like Saugus, we saw the other night, and Hart tonight, are not willing to take it. I think I would if I was them.
Inside to Preston. Edens gets the offensive rebound, still fighting for it, still has it, puts it up. He's going to get fouled. Justin Edens, 6'3" junior. The foul is going to be called against Zach Davis. That is his first personal. It's the first foul committed in this game. 4:38 to play in the first quarter. Well, and Justin Edens will go to the line.
That's the first attempt around the basket that Hart's had tonight. And the free throw's an air ball, but the last 3 possessions for Hart were all 3-point shots from the perimeter, and what that tells me is they can't get near the basket because of the defense that the Vikings are putting on them.
Justin Edens also a standout on the football team here for Hart. Misses both, and he's going to get the rebound. Kicking out to Preston, to Sporer, to Delgado. So the Indians get another shot. Putting up the 3 and draining the 3 is Austin Maley.
That time they set the Hart Indians set a back pick against the zone and hit the 3-pointer.
Nice pass from Tredick to Lonnie Jackson, who puts it in. And then we got players tangling up. It's Edens tangling with Jackson, but all things are good.
Yeah, you got to get in his uniform before he shoots a shot, not after he shoots it and he's on the floor.
Aaron Spargo checks in for the Valencia Vikings, leading it by 11 with 4 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Preston, and traveling is going to be the call against the Indians. That's the first turnover of this game, committed by either side.
Well, I see an issue with the Indians. They don't look like they want to shoot the ball. It's like catch and pass to somebody else. Not evidence in the shot for the Indians this year.
Brandon Bennett now to Tredick. Inside to Jackson, and he's being hassled by Sporer underneath. And I think Sporer is going to be the one who's going to be tabbed for the foul. First foul on Alex Sporer, first team foul committed by the Hart Indians.
Well, that's where I think that they can guard Lonnie Jackson, is in the key area where you got a lot of help.
The inbound goes to Sansone. His shot missed. This is Delgado bringing it down. He's got 2 Valencia Vikings all around him, but he makes a nice play, puts it off the glass. And 2 points for Roman Delgado. It's a 9-point Valencia lead.
Yeah, he took that with confidence, and that's good to see.
Here's Jackson for 3. Back of the rim, no good. Edens fighting and they're going to say that Edens was the last one to touch the basketball, so Vikings will have the ball.
See, and that's the way the Indians can play it. You know, if Valencia gets into a sense where they just can shoot perimeter shots, Hart can get a rebound off of that and kick it and get an easier shot at the other end.
There's a great pass underneath to Aaron Spargo, and it's good.
A nicely designed play by Coach Rocket Collins.
Rocket Collins and Greg Hayes, co-head coaches for the Valencia Vikings. Sporer has Jackson all over him. And the ball stripped away. Down the other side is Jackson, and he got far too much underneath the basket.
Yeah, you think he can do everything, and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets hung up there and couldn't make the trick shot that he would have had to make for that to go in.
Jake Kelfer's going to get called for the foul against Delgado. Now Kevin Lamb checked into the game. He's going to replace Alex Sporer. 2:37 to play in the first quarter. The Vikings leading by 11. It's the first game of the second half of the 10-game Foothill League season. Cole Preston. Now Austin Maley. Delgado driving baseline. Right-hander, it's good. Roman Delgado's got some game. He averages 12 points for this team.
And that's their Tom Kelly-ish offense. They're just trying to reduce it to one, possession here and there. Use the shot clock. Don't let Valencia catch the ball on offense, and you never know what can happen. That's their strategy.
Jackson in the corner, decides to go ahead and take the shot, misses the shot. Rebound coming down to Preston. 2 inside now to play in the first quarter. Preston giving it to Lamb, who puts it off the glass.
So you can't ever settle, and the Vikings are settling for jump shots, and the Indians are exploiting the long rebound.
It's been an 11-point lead for the Vikings, now down to a 7-point lead. Jackson to Tredick. Tredick is going to somehow work through the Hart defense and put it in for Tanner Tredick. His first 2 points of the game. He averages 4.5. Back down the other side, Preston's shot puts up an air ball, but it's saved. Kevin Lamb, count the bucket. I believe they're going to go ahead and count the bucket. Yes, they are, and Lamb's going to go to the line for the 3-point play. The foul is going to be called against Tanner Tredick.
Well, that's why you're taught, if you save the ball and it's your team, you throw it at your basket, wherever that is. So if you're Valencia, you throw it down the court. Don't ever throw it in front of the basket and you save it.
Kevin Lamb has come off the bench. He's now scored 5 points. He averages 6 on the season. It's a 6-point lead for the Vikings.
Yeah, if I'm the Hart Indians, I kind of like where I'm at right now.
Jake Kelfer, a long 3. He's going to miss everything. Tredick's going to come up with it, but he's going to step on the baseline.
They're settling for jump shots, like I said, and that's not good. That's not good for them in this type of game. If I'm Tom Kelly, I'm pretty satisfied with the position I'm in here with 50 seconds to go in the first quarter.
This is Lamb to Delgado, back to Lamb, looking to pass. Delgado, Mealy. Preston for 2. Can't get it, but a nice rebound by John Cornelius. And then the ball is stripped from Preston by Tredick. And are we going to have a foul or are we going to have a jump?
30-second timeout.
And a timeout called by the Indians just as Rick Rodman, one of our 2 officials tonight, was about to call a jump ball.
Yeah, and that was a smart play by the Indians. I mean, we talked about the difficulty in playing these games between the rivals.
Yeah.
Then you couple it with the fact that the Indians are at home, where they feel a little more comfortable. And I'm telling you, coming out of the shoot, they didn't look very confident to me. And then they got behind, 10-0. They've outscored them 12-6 or 12-8 in this, and they look a lot more confident. I mean, even though they're not ahead,
right,
they're playing more confident now. And it's amazing how, staying close to a team that's supposed to blow you out, the longer you stay in contention, the more confidence you do. I see it in their eyes right now.
So the inbound goes to Delgado. 18 seconds on the game clock. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds. The inbound to Cornelius. Can't get the friendly roll. Ball goes out of bounds off of his fingers.
If you're 5-0, you make that shot. If you're 0-5, you miss that shot. That's Murphy's Law. When things are going bad, everything goes bad. And the Indians, if they'd have made that shot, would have been 4 points down at the end of the quarter.
2 seconds. Bennett going to launch up a long 3, and that's going to miss. So we end the first quarter of this basketball game. 18-12. The Vikings jumped out to that 10-0 start, only to see the Indians close out with a 12-8 run themselves to stay within this game. Second quarter when we return to SCVTV's presentation of Foothill League basketball. Second quarter about to get underway here at Hart High School, where the Valencia Vikings leading the Indians 18-12. The second time these 2 teams have played each other here in Foothill League basketball. Last time the Vikings came away with a 64-47 victory. Of course, that game was played at Valencia. The Indians have the ball now. Melee for three, gets the friendly roll that time, and it goes in.
And the Vikings are playing a zone defense because they don't think the Indians can shoot it, but it looks like they're starting to find their range.
Shot this time no good. The Indians, with this possession, could tie this game.
And what a confidence that'll do for the team.
Blocked, though, by Jackson. The shot from John Cornelius, and Jackson with the block. On the season, Lonnie Jackson now has blocked 18 shots. Second on this Viking squad.
He's so athletic that he's able to react instead of fouling by blocking the shot.
Preston shot no good. Battle for the rebound. Hey, it's going to be Valencia basketball.
And just saw Lonnie Jackson talking to Rocky Collins with his palms up, which is never a good sign.
Full court pressure put on by the Indians. And the Vikings able to pass themselves out of the pressure. And in a turnover. Third of the game committed by the Vikings. Troy Hamill, by the way, as the point guard for the Vikings. As Preston catches and starts running before he starts dribbling. Traveling is going to be the call. Third turnover committed by the Indians.
See, and that's what that's troubled the Indians all year long. You know, their inability to negotiate transition with turnovers and missed shots and shots blocked. It just, you know, it's just not good for them.
And the inbound pass goes to Lonnie Jackson, and they're going to say that his toe was on the sideline when he caught the ball. He had inches to spare to begin with to catch that ball.
And you always say, what are you doing standing that close to the sideline when you have the whole court to mess with? So it's mostly on him.
Tanner Tredick and Michael Zerpoli are now into the game for the Vikings. This is Delgado driving, blocked. That's Zerpoli. Zerpoli, Tredick, and then also in on the play was Troy Hamill. And I think they're going to get the call. The foul is going to be called against Zerpoli, I believe. Nope, Hamill. It's 10, not 30. 10. So Delgado to go to the line to shoot two. And he's got the first one.
Yeah, this game is taking a turn here. We had the same situation. We had Golden Valley playing West Ranch. You know, the last time we were over there, and West Ranch, you know, almost pulled out a win. Maybe we have something like that tonight going in.
Well, I think West Ranch is starting to share a better team than anyone's giving them credit for after their upset victory over Canyon. As Lonnie Jackson drives in, can't get it, but Zerpoli is there to clean up after him. Michael Zerpoli is a 6'3" sophomore who averages under 2 points a game. He's got 2 in this game now.
See, now the Vikings want to try to push the issue here, and they're playing man-to-man now, trying to force Hart into maybe a bad shot or a turnover.
Delgado getting a high screen. Cornelius, Denton Lamb, and it's back to a 1-point lead. Lamb now with 7 points, and then the acrobatic play on the other end. Brandon Bennett, count the bucket. He's going to be fouled as well. The foul is going to be called against Kevin Lamb, his first, the team's second, and Brandon Bennett's going to go to the line for the 3-point play.
And that's, you know, you never want that to happen. You work really hard to get a good basket at this end, the Indian, and then with one pass, you get a 3-point play possibility at the other end.
And Bennett misses the free throw. He's a 40% free throw shooter on the season. As a team, the Vikings shooting 78%.
Yeah, and like I said before, with Lonnie Jackson shooting in the 80s, your team free throw percentage is going to be good.
Lamb slicing in. Foul is going to be before the shot. Foul's going to be called against Jackson. It is his first personal, but as I said, is before the shot, so the Indians will get a fresh 35-second shot clock and will be inbounding the ball under their basket.
Now, Tom Kelly is very well known for his out-of-bounds plays. I've taken a few of them, and they usually work, so we'll see what happens here.
This is Cole Preston, and he's got it.
And they work again.
Preston gets his first 2 points of the game. He averages 12. Back to a 1-point difference. Lonnie Jackson, though, is going to be no good. Delgado's going to pick up the loose ball. The Indians could take the lead for the first time this game. Remember, the Vikings opened up this game 10-0 against the Indians. And here are the Indians with this possession, and they're going to turn it over.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about again. They turn over when you get a chance to take the lead.
Jackson is going to get fouled before he got the shot off.
And I like the Vikings taking it to the basket a little better than I do relying on the perimeter shot. I mean, Lonnie Jackson should be able to shoot it when he gets it, but the other guys, they should be more inclined to take it to the rim and maybe get some fouls.
And that is Lonnie Jackson's shot, no good. Kevin Lamb pulls down the rebound. 5 minutes to play in the first half. It's a 1-point Valencia lead right now. This is Preston kicking out. Lamb for three. Can't get it to go. Jackson gets the rebound. And Jackson doing battle with Cole Preston as they go down the court. And that is not the first time this game that those two have been doing battle as they go down the court.
Well, Lonnie Jackson did a nice job there of creating that contact. He saw out of the corner of his eye, you know, the white uniform, and he kind of leaned in and let him foul him. It's a smart, heady play.
Max Summers is now checked into the game for the Vikings. This is Jake Kelfer. Kelfer directing traffic. And Summers getting the ball. Right corner, he's got it. Max Summer, a 6'2" junior coming off the bench. He's got 2 points. He averages better than 5.5 a game. Roman Delgado. Sporer to Preston from the left elbow. Shot's no good. Tredick gets the rebound for the Vikings. Kelford to Jackson. Left elbow. Money.
You got to locate him better in transition than the Indians are doing. When he starts getting hot, look out.
Jackson now with 10 points in this game, inside of 4 to play in the first half. It's up to a 5-point lead now for the Vikings. Scorer. The Lamb drawing the contact. Charge is going to be the call against Kevin Lamb. And taking that is going to be Tredick.
Yeah, he had the lunch pail going on that one. Just stepped up. He takes more shots than a target. And sometimes I think he has a target on his uniform. Yeah, and I've told that story many times about his father being one of the former great players from Saugus. He played more of a finesse game. It's kind of interesting. I would like to see father and son battle it in the driveway. That would be.
This is Kelfer. Summer. And we're going to have a whistle away from action, and this one's going to go against the Vikings. And it's going to be Tredick.
He likes the contact. It's almost in his DNA, I think.
6 team fouls, second team foul against Tredick. Second personal foul, excuse me. 3.5 to play in the first half. Delgado has got Summered all over him. Delgado trying to get the contact, and he's going to dish the ball off instead. Dylan Morris to Sporer. And Sporer's going to get trapped. And the Valencia bench is signaling and trying to persuade Rick Rodman and Lewis Williams that it should be their basketball, but they didn't see it that way. Of course, it all happened right in front of the Valencia bench.
Well, and also, you know, your fans got to help you get that call. I mean, they didn't respond to that like, you know, they wanted the ball in the situation. Refs sometimes get emotional, you know.
Melee for three. Front of the rim, no good. Summers gets the rebound. And Jackson is going to get fouled just as he loses control of the basketball.
There's another circumstance where they did not locate him in transition, and he was about to just load up for that jump shot, and then somebody knocked him on the ground.
Alex Sporer knocked him on the ground, his second personal foul, and then Jackson losing control of the dribble. 5 turnovers have been committed by each of these teams. 2:53 to play in the first half, and each team also with 6 team fouls. So the next foul should mean someone's going to go to the line. Been sitting at a 5-point difference for the last couple of minutes. And there's a 6th turnover. Tredick with the steal.
Yeah, you can't. He was telegraphing that pass. He stared it down the whole way, and they were able to step in Valencia and steal it.
Kelfer to Jackson, baseline.
I think you call that money.
Yes.
I heard you call that money before.
Yes. Jackson with 12 points. Delgado, the floater from the left elbow, no good. 2 minutes to play in the first half.
See, this is when the Indians could lose touch here right at the end of the half. If they're not careful, they could really lose touch with out of the lead here.
And there's Maley with a steal.
But they turned it over.
And this game is getting physical. And they are not shying away from the contact. They're almost bringing it on against each other.
Well, the Indians are frustrated because their season's not going well. Vikings are frustrated because they don't have a 20-point lead.
Delgado ends up on his backside, blocked by Zerpoli. That's Zerpoli right there. Count the bucket, and Zerpoli's going to go to the line.
It was a nice setup by Lonnie Jackson there. He saw the big man roll into the basket, and he just looked the other way and it freed up the defender who leaned towards the ball, and three-point play opportunity.
Michael Zerpoli looking for his 5th point. It's only the 2nd time in this game that the Vikings have been to the free throw line. They're 0 for 1 from the line. And 0 for 2. Dylan Morris with the rebound for the Indians.
Well, 0 for 2 and from the free throw line tells you they're not getting very many shots around the basket. And I'm sure Rocky Collins is going to address that at halftime.
A 9-point lead right now for the Vikings. Morris to Delgado. Zerpoli, I think that's his 2nd block of this game. This is Jackson. Inside of a minute now to play in the first half as Jackson pulls up for the three-pointer, no good. But there is Tredick. Talked about it at the beginning of the game, how he does the offensive rebounds, and it gives his team another chance. And in this case, Lonnie Jackson scores his 14th point of the game to take advantage of that offensive rebound.
And he's so smooth when he has the ball. He's able to locate defenders, slice in between two, and just put it up with a soft kiss off the glass.
And there's a kick this time. So they'll look to reset the shot clock, which doesn't matter right now because there's 30.4 seconds to play in the first half, so the shot clock will be off. Preston to Maley, back to Preston. Turnaround. Zerpoli looked like he got a piece of that one, but he also got a piece of Maley as well. Yep. And for Michael Zerpoli, that will be his 2nd personal foul. The 7th team foul, and Cole Preston to go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, I think the Indians, when they got really close at, I think what it was, 21-22.
Yeah.
You know, they had some confidence. Now the Vikings are starting to pull away a little bit, and they're back to their doom and gloom look, you know, and it's not good.
Well, before those 2 free throws made by Cole Preston, the Vikings had gone on a 10-0 run to open it back up again. 20 seconds. Give us to Tredick to Zerpoli, and Zerpoli's going to get hit as he's taking a shot, and he'll go shoot 2.
Well, Lonnie Jackson set that whole play up. He almost drew he had a little pick and roll going. He draws like 2 defenders. He passed the ball to the open man. And once that happens, it steamrolls because everybody's open on the backside when you double team the ball.
And Zerpoli makes the first.
Boy, that was ugly. I mean, that just like sat on the rim for a second.
Well, he makes both of them. And just like that, the Vikings are now 50% from the free throw line, 2 for 4. And Zach Davis is going to come into the game, and he's going to replace Tanner Tredick. So 11.6 seconds, full court pressure put on by the Vikings. Ball stolen by Summers, but as he comes down with it, he steps on the baseline. And then a quick pass, and the Indians able to break that pressure. Cross court. Maley for 3, can't go. Zach Davis gets the rebound for the Vikings. And that's going to be the end of the first half. So a game in which the very beginning of it, the Indians jump out to a 10-0 run, and then the Indians battle back to close to within 1, 22-21, and then the Vikings close it out on a 12-2 run to take a 34-23 lead into halftime. Greg and I will take a look at first half stats when we return to SCVTV's presentation of Foothill League basketball. Halftime here at Hart High School, where the Valencia Vikings leading it 34-23. And the Vikings are doing it, of course, behind Lonnie Jackson. He's got 14 points that he's already poured in.
Well, you know, he's just a brilliant high school basketball player. He gets better every time I see him. And I'm not talking about the skill level. He gets to be a smarter player. He involves teammates. And it's just been a joy to watch him develop from his sophomore year to junior year. I don't know how much better he can get in another year, but the four-year colleges are going to be knocking at the door. They're going to be a caravan coming up McBean Parkway to Valencia High School.
Let's talk about the Hart Indians real quick before we get to the third quarter. They're down by 11, but they closed it to within 1 early on. Are they encouraged being able to show that they can play with the Vikings?
Yeah, but you know what's an indicator is they just can't maintain that kind of threat that they were doing. They show some instances of doing well. I attribute that to their Bulldog coach Tom Kelly, who won't let them ever look at losing and accept it. But it's just not firing on all the pistons, and if they're not careful, this game could get out of reach.
Kevin Lamb coming off the bench, leading the Hart Indians. He's got 7 points, and then there's 6 apiece for Roman Delgado, and then also Austin Maley, the 5'9" sophomore, who drained 2 3-pointers in the first half. Also with 4 points, Cole Preston. So Tom Kelly right there in the center of your screen in his 10th year as the head coach of the Hart Indians. He's got a passion for the game. He's got a passion for this team. You mentioned it during our opening. He absolutely loves this team, and he flat out said to me, this is probably my favorite.
And I've tried, I gave him an opportunity many times to recant that. I said, come on, you guys are 5. No, I love my team, and you got to believe that. And that's we're all glad he's in the profession when he has that kind of attitude.
And I think the thing to remember, too, is that it's a very young Hart Indian team. They're taking their lumps this year, but look out next year. And then there's also some freshmen that are into the program as well. They're going to be pretty good. So Hart will probably be pretty good in the years to come, but this is not their year.
Yeah, they'll be back in the show before long. You can't count them out forever.
Turnover by the Vikings. This is Cole Preston. The turnaround from the right elbow is good.
Good, number 45, Cole.
He's got 6 points now for Cole Preston. Tread to Bennett. Bennett off the back of the rim, no good, and there's a collision. John Cornelius colliding with Zach Davis as they were going after the basket. They're both kind of chuckling about it down inside. No big deal.
I think they called a double foul there. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Rick Rodman. So the call is going to go John Cornelius. He'll pick up his first. And then Zach Davis will get called for the foul.
Wow, that's an interesting call. I don't think it was so off the ball. I don't think either official really saw what happened, and they looked and saw 2 players on the floor.
And now Tom Kelly and Rocket Collins are both coming over to talk to Rick Rodman. And Rocket is not happy with this call.
Well, when both coaches aren't happy with a call, it can't be right. 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. This is Maley from the corner. No good. Lamb gets the offensive rebound, puts it up, can't get the shot to go. John Cornelius, though, gets the 3rd opportunity to.
If the Vikings have one drawback in their arsenal, it's on the boards. They're not the greatest rebounding team.
That's Kelfer down inside, the shortest player out there, 5'8" junior, gets his first 2 points of the game. And it's up to a 9-point lead for the Vikings.
And that was all in the attention that Lonnie Jackson got because of his skill. He was able to locate a runner after he was getting double teamed.
And then Jackson knocking the ball away from Lamb, but the Indians will maintain the possession. They've got 21 seconds on the shot clock, 6:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. This is Delgado. Cole Preston driving in. No, they're going to call it traveling. It's going to be the call against Cole Preston.
He lost control of it on the left side. You know, that's not his forte, is taking the ball on the dribble. He's an inside post player, and that's what happens when they dribble.
And then we're going to have a whistle, and foul is going to be called against Jackson. Offensive foul for Jackson. That'll be his second personal foul. First team foul here in this second half committed by the Vikings. The Indians also have one team foul.
Well, he was just talking to the official, Rick Rodman, like, hey, he's holding me and I was just pushing him away. Well, they always get the retaliation.
Nice move by Delgado. The kick out to Preston. Preston's lucky to control the basketball. Tries the shot, no good. And then a reach in. And I think they're going to call this one against John Cornelius, number 55.
Yeah, you know, Lonnie Jackson hits the floor quite a bit. We talked about his slight frame, and you know, that's probably one of the things that he needs to work on in the offseason. I know he will, but right now he's not the biggest player, and if you're going to attract attention on defense, they're going to get physical with you.
This is Kelfer. Back to Jackson. Jackson has Maley on him, gets a nice screen from Tredick. And he's going to draw the foul.
You see, I liked how he sliced that double team. What Hart was doing was playing the pick and roll. They were trying to jump Lonnie Jackson on the high side of the pick, and he sliced in between the two defenders to create contact in the lane. It was a very heady play.
Jackson going to the line for the first time tonight, makes the first one. He's an 88% shooter.
If you look under 88% in the book of free throws, it says automatic.
16 points now for Lonnie Jackson.
It's amazing he's missed any.
It's an 11-point lead for the Vikings. Delgado, who's been fairly cold, scored 4 points. He's averaging 12 on the season.
See, the Hart Indians, they just don't have anybody that you think is going to take over the game.
Maley for three, no good. Cornelius, though, gets the offensive rebound. Gives it to Lamb. Lamb going inside and getting all kinds of purple jerseys around him. But that's Cornelius to clean it up.
And that's that Viking problem on the boards again. You know, just not a very good rebounding team. It's going to hurt them when they go against Golden Valley again.
And there's a steal. Nope, they're going to say that Delgado kicked the ball first, and so that is going to mean the Vikings will get to maintain the possession, and they'll get a fresh 35-second shot clock. Tredick to Jackson to Spargo, and it's good.
When you get all that attention that Lonnie Jackson gets, it creates a lot of openings for other players. You almost like to play with a guy like that.
Early in the season, when the Vikings played Morningside, Morningside said how good of a passer he was. They were double teaming him, even sometimes triple teaming him. And they found that he could pass his way out of that pretty easily, and the Vikings went on to win the game.
Yeah, he's a full-on basketball player. I mean, he has all the skills to be great, and you know, I think before it's all said and done, he definitely will be maybe the greatest player ever to come out of Valencia High School, but maybe one of the top players from the Valley before he gets done writing the record books.
And the Vikings have had some terrific basketball players come out. Deron Jordan from a decade ago, Esquias McDaniel. Jump ball, possession arrow favored the Vikings. They lead by 11 with 4:35 to play in the third quarter. Here's Jackson for three. Preston gets the rebound for the Indians.
I actually think he had too much time on that one. You know, that's a lot of times that's what happens.
Lamb getting the ball knocked away, but they're going to say it was knocked away because of the foul. And the foul is going to be called against Aaron Spargo. That will be his first personal foul. The second team foul for the Vikings here in this second half. And since the foul occurred on the floor, the Indians will get a fresh shot clock, and they'll inbound the ball under their own basket.
You know, that was one of those the coach saying, why'd you lose the ball? Coach, I got poked in the eye. He got poked in the eye on that one.
Cornelius, Preston, Delgado, three. But there is Kevin Lamb getting the rebound offensively. His putback no good, knocked out of bounds by the Vikings. So the Indians will get to the basketball. And it's interesting because they're resetting the 35-second shot clock, and the Vikings coaches are screaming that it never hit the rim. No ball ever hit the rim.
I've been saying it hit the rim, so you got a disagreement.
This is Cornelius to Lamb, and he's going to get hacked. And I think that was Spargo doing the hacking.
See, and people don't understand, the Vikings were unable to secure that rebound on that last play, giving the Hart Indians another chance, and then look what happens. You're able to get to the line and draw a foul. So, your inability to keep a team from one shot is a big, big disadvantage. You give them more than one shot, percentages tell you that they're going to make them shoot some foul shots.
Lamb makes the first, makes the second. Zerpoli and Ryan Russ have checked into the game now for the Valencia Vikings. 9 points for Lamb. This is Ryan Russ in the left wing to Jackson. And they're going to call traveling against Lonnie. And Lonnie trying to demonstrate, no, this is what I did. I didn't travel it.
Well, he gets so much attention. Don't kid yourself. The officials know who he is. And sometimes they get a predetermined attitude on what his game's all about. And sometimes they misread some of the moves that they make.
3.5 to play in the third. 9-point lead for the Vikings. Preston, the jumper. No good. Tredick gets the rebound for the Vikings. Jackson quickly bringing it down. Nice pass to Zerpoli underneath. There's that passing ability we were just talking about for Lonnie Jackson.
Well, he looks away and is able to pass the ball without staring, and that's a big advantage, especially to a guard.
And Michael Zerpoli has come off the bench and has poured in 8 points. And talk about pouring in, that's a three-pointer that Austin Maley puts in. That's his third of the game.
You got to give the Indians credit for still hanging around here in the 3-minute mark in the third quarter.
Jackson to turn around, no good, and then they're going to call a foul. Maley's going, you've got to be kidding. And that's going to be against Maley on Jackson. For Austin Maley, that is his second personal foul, the fourth team foul committed by the Indians, and we still have 2:52 to play in the third.
Well, a lot of times Lonnie Jackson, because of his slight build, is going to, receive more action and go down to the floor more often because he's not very strong. And what looks like maybe an intentional foul may not really be one.
So the Vikings will inbound it. Jackson was thinking he should be getting a shooting foul, but then we have another foul, and it's going to be another double foul.
I think that was more of a foul on Lonnie Jackson. He was trying to push through the defense there and with his hands, and the Hart Indian player had his hands up in the air.
Well, Lonnie Jackson now has 3 personal fouls. The other called against Alex Sporer. That is also his third personal foul.
Well, Alex Sporer had his hands straight up in the air, and Lonnie was pushing on his chest.
And Zerpoli can't handle the pass from Ryan Russ. Now the scoreboard is saying that the Indians have 4 team fouls, but I believe they have 5. Yep, now they just updated the scoreboard. 5 team fouls for the Indians, 2:45 to play in the third quarter.
This is the most quiet Hart high school crowd I've ever seen since I've been living here in this valley. I'm telling you, that's unbelievable.
Sporer for 3, misses everything. Rebound comes down to Tredick. Jackson, baseline. And there's going to be a foul before he got the shot off. And it's going to be against Sporer. That's going to be his 4th personal foul committed by Alex Sporer.
I believe, the fans got to help these guys. Kids get inspired by their crowd. And this looks like their crowd's in an opera.
And there aren't any fat ladies here.
No.
Tredick. And they're going to call a blocking foul. And that one's going to be called against Dylan Morris. And now the officials are going to talk, and they're realizing that will be the 7th team foul. It will be a foul against Dylan Morris. Tredick, interestingly enough, though, Greg, hesitated. He was looking to pass and realized, hey, I can take the shot. That's when Morris stepped in front of him.
Yeah, and kids are always trying to draw a charge. Unless you're set, it's not going to happen.
So Tanner Tredick, 80% from the free throw line. Again, this Valencia Viking team, 78% from the stripe.
There you go, Jinxer.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
Jinx the cat. That's you.
Jinxie. To 9 lead for the Vikings. The Indians have the ball, though. Kevin Lamb, that's going to be a charge. And stepping in to take it was Jackson.
And the difference between Lonnie Jackson taking the charge down at this end and the Hart Indians not being able to get their feet is he's a basketball player. He understands space and spacing. And he was able to get his feet set. That's the difference. You know, basketball players understand spacing. A lot of people don't get that point, but they understand where they are on the floor at all times.
And Lamb is out there on the floor with his 4th personal foul. And there's another great pass from Jackson, and they're going to call an offensive foul against Lonnie Jackson before he made that pass. That is his 4th personal foul, and we've got 2 minutes to play still in the 3rd quarter. So Jackson is going to have a seat on the bench.
I'm telling you this. I think the officials are they're picking on him. I mean, there's a sense to me that they're picking on him.
This is Delgado to Morris. He's in the paint, he turns around, puts it up, no good. Preston battling with Zerpoli for the rebound. Zerpoli's going to come up with it, and then Bennett is just going to get decked by Dylan Morris. And I believe that's going to be the foul called against Dylan Morris.
You know, I think Dylan Morris just lost his body control. I mean, there was no intention to foul. He just lost his balance, and sometimes that happens in a game. He had no intention to knock the guy over. It's just, I lost my balance.
His 2nd personal foul, but Greg, we got 1:40 to play in the 3rd quarter, and already Hart's got 19 fouls.
Well, their talk at halftime was probably to come out and be more aggressive. And you can do that when you're really athletic, but you know, when you're not, it's difficult to go out and do something you're really not capable of doing without fouling, and I think that's what the case is right here.
And Eugene.
Yes.
And Morris getting trapped. 10-point lead for the Vikings. Jackson, though, is on the bench. Is this an opportunity for the Hart Indians? With 1:25 to play in the 3rd. Delgado to Melee. Baseline getting trapped, but he feeds Preston, he puts it in.
You know, this is where the Indians can make a little run here with Lonnie Jackson on the bench.
Here's Stevie Sansone for 3. Can't go. Bennett gets the rebound. Back to Sansone. Tredick, fake. Cross court. Sansone sets for 3. Stevie Sansone, he starts to heat up from 3-point range. Look out. This will be a long game for the Indians.
Well, then this is where you find out where your other players are. When your superstars on the bench, you find out what the rest of your team's made of when they have to rely on themselves.
Great pass from Lamb, feeding it into Cole Preston between 2 Vikings.
Terrible defense.
Preston now with 10 points. 27 seconds. Shot clock is off. Sansone's going to try another 3. Can't get it to go. The rebound's going to come to Dylan Morris. So the Indians are going to slow things down, look for that last shot. They've got 15 seconds right now. And the whistle is going to be against Summers.
Well, they had a foul to give. The Indians won't be shooting here, so that's a good foul, actually.
Excuse me, I said Summers. It is no S at the end. Summer, Max Summer. Nice pass to Preston, who can't control the basketball. Gets it to Melee, 3 seconds. And he makes the shot at the buzzer. And that's a 3-pointer by Austin Melee. His 4th 3-pointer of the game. He's got 12 points. And at the end of the 3rd quarter, the Indians close to within 6 of the Vikings. This one is not over by a long shot. Keep it right here, the 4th quarter, when we return to SCVTV's presentation of Foothill League basketball. The Hart students and some of the fans now on their feet. It's taken 3 quarters of basketball before the Hart fans started to get some life to them, and now they're starting to get it pumped up. Their Indians are within 6 of the Vikings.
Well, you know, I said this many times, you know, the fans can really inspire their team, and we're getting back and forth chants from both sides, and that kind of gets people rolling. Administrators hate it, I know, but the kids love it. It gets the student body and the parents involved. But there's more parents in the Hart side than there is students. That's always been the case here, and they're not very vociferous tonight.
Well, they're starting to get on their feet, though, are the students, as this fourth quarter is underway and the Indians have the ball. Preston somehow got away with the travel because he got that ball on his backside and his feet were in the air. Delgado blocked by Zerpoli. And this ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Viking basketball.
Well, the Vikings are going to have to do it on defense if they're going to win this game. 6-point deficit's not very much.
The Indians into a full court press. This is Bennett. And they're against the Indians. And that will be foul number 10. Foul's going to be called against Austin Maley, his third, but already the 10th team foul. And if you're going to put the Vikings into double bonus all the time, a team that shoots 78% from the field, from the free throw line, you're asking for trouble.
And what does it do? It just it slows the game down. It gives Lonnie Jackson a little rest. You extend the lead. You know, it just helps the Vikings. You know, with their intention to win this game tonight, and it kind of kills the momentum of the Hart Indians.
Bennett 3 of 5 from the free throw line. He's now got 11 points in the game. It's an 8-point lead for the Vikings as Kevin Lamb drives in. He's going to draw the foul. Kevin Lamb playing, I believe, with 4 personal fouls. This foul is going to be called against Zerpoli, and that will be his first personal foul. But Kevin Lamb will go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, you know, you always say, why would you foul that? You know, Hart has difficulty negotiating baskets. That's why they're in their 0-5 situation. They just don't shoot the ball very well around the basket. So when somebody drives in, why would you foul them? The percentages tell you that he's probably going to miss them, and instead he gives up 2 free throws.
Lamb a perfect 5 for 5. The Indians 9 of 11 from the free throw line tonight, and Lamb has got 11 points. This is Summer driving in. He'll draw the foul. No, they're going to call a charge against Max Summer.
That charge seems to be the flavor of the month tonight for Rick Rodman. That's 3, and you know, there's some earlier in the first half. So we've seen a lot of charges here.
6-point difference right now in the game. Jackson is on the bench. He's got 4 fouls, 7:10 to play, and that's going to be traveling called against Cole.
You know, he's made some turnovers in vital situations for the Indians. If I were Kelly, I would tell Coach Kelly, I'd tell him to get down on the block and let the guards handle the ball out in the perimeter.
Lonnie Jackson and Jay Kelfer both check back into the game. That's Jackson with the basketball right there. So if you're Tom Kelly, you tell your team, hey, he's got 4 fouls. You got to get him to get some fouls.
Well, you're more inclined to tell him on the defensive end he's going to be less aggressive because he's not going to foul. So you want to attack maybe through him.
And then Jackson collides with Lamb, and they're going to call this one against Lamb.
Now, Dave Caldwell, you're a very intelligent person. Lonnie Jackson shooting, what did you tell me earlier, 88% from the free throw line?
Yep.
He's 40 feet away from the basket where he probably won't shoot, although it wouldn't be put it behind him. And you're fouling him. How does that sound for you?
It is your 5th foul, and you're out of the game.
Yeah,
Kevin Lamb.
There you go. I'm not betting on his SAT scores.
Well, Jackson missed the second one. He is 3 for 4 from the line.
Maybe he knew that.
17 points for Jackson. 6:45 to play in the game. 7-point difference. Delgado driving in, and he'll draw the foul. And he'll be shooting 2, and this one's going to go against Tanner Tredick, his 3rd.
You know, I was just watching the official tonight. You had the other official name, Rick Rodman. The other guy is
Lewis Williams.
Lewis Williams. He's making calls with mechanics that I have never seen in my life. I mean, it looks like he's doing sign language, or the village people. I don't know. You know, there's a call in basketball. It's a block or a charge. There's no grab your wrist, do this with the elbow. And, you know, that always lends me to question the professionalism of the officials. I mean, there's a way you officiate a game. You don't make up stuff because you watch the NBA or something like that. So I'm going to keep an eye on him for the rest of the way.
6-point lead for the Vikings. Jackson. Kelfer. Summer for 3 in the corner. He's got it.
Well, that's a big shot.
Max Summer shooting 37% from behind the arc, and he gives the Vikings back a 9-point lead.
And 9 is a lot more comfortable than 6, I'll tell you that.
Inside of 6 minutes to play in the game. Delgado, and he gets nothing but net on his shot.
Well, they just won't go away. The Hart Indians, you got to give them credit.
Delgado with 9 points. Kelfer now directing traffic for his Vikings. Gets the ball to Summer. Back to Kelfer.
The box and 1 they're running, the Hart Indians.
Summer for 3, and that's the second time that Max Summer has drained the three-pointer in as many possessions for the Vikings. It's up to a 10-point lead for Valencia. Preston, ball knocked away by Kelfer. 2-on-1 break. Kelfer back to Summer, and Summer is going to get fouled by Cole Preston.
And what our viewers need to know about a box and 1 defense is 4 players play a zone and 1 player chases a player, plays a man-to-man, and tries to keep him from the ball. The Vikings had that problem earlier in the season against some of the other teams in the games that they lost, and the Indians are trying that in the last 5 minutes.
Timeout called by Tom Kelly, stopping the clock with 5:12 to play in the game. The Indians have been able to close to within 6 here in this second half, but now the Vikings on the back of Max Summer. 2 consecutive three-pointers by the 6'2 junior has given the Valencia Vikings a 10-point lead.
Well, and that's how you deal with the box and 1. You know, it opens up a lot of areas for shooters because you can't cover the ground, which is 4 players. You're trying to deny Lonnie Jackson the ball, and whether you do a good job or not, if you've got other guys hitting three-pointers, it's not a very good defense.
There you see Summer. As I said, 6'2 junior average is better than 5.5 points a game. 37% from behind the arc. As a team, the Vikings shooting 35% from three-point range.
Which is generally, anytime you're up over 33%, that's pretty good.
And so as we come out of the timeout, Max will be shooting 2. He was fouled by Preston. And he's got the first.
Stinky but deadly. That's what they call those that sit up on the rim for about an hour.
Vikings are 11 of 16 from the free throw line tonight. They've got a 12-point lead.
Well, if the Indians are going to make a move, they're going to have to do it here. They're running out of time.
Delgado's shot misses. Spargo gets the rebound. And Jackson's going to walk it down. Well, now he'll trot, get across the 10-second line, and then slow things down.
Yeah, I don't know what this does, but run some clock. That's about all.
Jackson getting a little backdoor cutter to Summer. Now Summer in the corner. Can't get this one to go, but there's Tredick getting the rebound.
And Lonnie Jackson end up on the floor again.
They had a fresh 35-second shot clock after the miss by Summer. And Jackson thinking, yeah, we're going to have to slow things down. Now Tom Kelly calling for more players to come and defend against him, and Spargo from in front of the basket puts it in.
Well, they ran a double team at him. He's too good of a passer. And unless you have great defenders along the baseline, that's not going to work with him.
14-point lead is the biggest of the night for the Vikings. 60-46 inside of 4 minutes. Preston off the glass. Shows some athleticism. He's got 12 points.
And the Vikings are just satisfied to bring down and run the shot clock down and maybe get a shot at the end of it. They're going to run a pick right here in about a second. See, here's the double team on Jackson.
Summer to Kelfer. 8 seconds. 3 seconds, and we're going to have a foul, and I think this was going to go against the Indians as Tanner Tredick ended up on his backside just before the shot was put up by Jackson. The foul is going to be called against Alex Sporer. That should be his 5th.
He was trying to fight through the pick and get at Jackson, but nonetheless.
And Rick Rodman is going to come over to the scorer's table to say it is 5, right? Yes, it is. It is 5. And so Tom Kelly now has to come up with another to bring him in. Tanner Tredick will be going to the line to shoot 2 as the double bonus is now in effect.
And Valencia was able to work that in both tabs tonight. You know, Hart trying to be a little more aggressive, specifically with Lonnie Jackson. All they did is put the Vikings at the line.
And Tredick misses. Justin Edens has checked into the game for the Hart Indians to replace Alex Sporer, who's fouled out. Tredick misses both.
Wow. Killing that team percentage. He'd be running some sprints on Saturday's practice.
3:05 to play in the game. 12-point lead for the Vikings. Delgado, Cole Preston trying to find some separation. Pulls up, jump shot from the baseline, no good. There's Tanner Tredick pulling down yet another rebound. He has been absolutely fantastic under the boards, both offensively and defensively for the Vikings.
Yeah, he understands position and he uses his strength, his leverage.
And then Justin Edens is going to reach in and foul Lonnie Jackson. So you might as well give Lonnie Jackson 2 points.
Well, the last time he missed one.
He did miss one.
But that doesn't happen very often. Hence the 88%.
Exactly.
Heretofore.
And he's now at 20 points. And he's still under his season average in scoring, by the way. 24.
Well, remember, he sat out for about 3 or 4 minutes with 4 fouls.
Good point. Yeah, he is still playing with 4 fouls. 2:35 to play in the game. Back up to a 14-point lead for the Vikings. Maley. Preston. Edens. Back to Preston. In the paint. Turnaround. Back of the back of the rim, no good. Ball did go into Dylan Morris's hands, and it popped out and went right into Jake Kelfer's.
Yeah, the Indians just don't have anybody that, like I said, is going to finish something off or charge of the team.
This is Kelfer dribbling through the Indians. Cross court to Jackson. And we're going to have an offensive foul. The foul's going to be against Spargo, and they're going to say that he threw an elbow. And Rocket Collins can't believe the call. He doesn't see it, and he's going to call a timeout and do some glaring at the official Rick Rodman, who made the call.
There's a lot of off-the-ball fouls that have been called tonight. Very unusual for a game, a high school game where you stuff off the ball. Now, I'm not saying it's not happening, but it's very unusual to get all that off-the-ball fouling being called. Rick Rodman, you want the officials to be watching the ball, not the stuff that's going on in the corner. But Rick Rodman is an excellent official. No mistake about it. But there's a lot of off-ball fouls being called tonight, and I'm not watching off the ball generally either, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but just more than usual.
Tuesday night here on SCVTV, these same Hart Indians will be taking on the Canyon Cowboys. Cowboys just got knocked off by the West Ranch Wildcats on Tuesday to blemish their undefeated season. So the Indians against the Cowboys.
Are they reeling or are they just pause? We'll
exactly.
see.
That'll be our next game here on SCVTV. Maley slipping a little bit. Now he's just going to throw one up, I think, and they're going to call traveling. His feet were moving and
call.
sliding around almost like he was on ice.
He was trying to draw contact, but the Vikings were backing away.
And that ball knocked away by Edens. And the give is to Delgado. Count the bucket. He's going to be fouled by Aaron Spargo. And for Spargo, that will be his 4th.
Yeah, this is one of those games, if you're the coaching staff of Valencia, you look at the film and you say, you know, we were kind of sloppy in this game. You know, we had a chance to extend the lead a few times, and we were just unable to do that. I mean, you got to give the Indians credit for playing, but nonetheless, if you're looking at the playoffs, you can't be sloppy against a team that's going home at the end of the year. So I'm sure Rock and Collins will be a little concerned about this effort tonight.
Delgado makes it. He's got 12 points. Full court pressure. Minute and a half to play in the game. An 11-point lead for Valencia. Here's Jackson. Trying to dribble through trouble. Gives to Kelfer, back up on top to Summer.
He's trying to, Hart's trying to double team everything. It's going to leave somebody open.
And that's Jake Kelfer in the corner for 3. In and out, can't go. But Tredick pulls down an offensive rebound, and then he's going to get shoved by Justin Edens. Boy, Tredick is 6'1", and yet he's got the body type, he's got the ability to pull down those rebounds that you wouldn't expect, especially when you're talking about offensive rebounds.
He's on the roster, he's 216 pounds. That's heavier than any player. You know, he's, what do we call it? Pocket Hercules. You know, he just got that kind of a body, and he knows how to use it. You know, there's been testimony to that for many years. Teams with players like him that, you know, just are stat mongers around the basket. They draw fouls, you know, get rebounds. They just work really hard. That's why we call him Coach Herrick's lunch pail guy.
Timeout called by Valencia, stopping the clock with 1:06 to play in the game. It's a 13-point lead for the Vikings. After Tredick makes both, he's now 3 of 6 from the line. He's got 5 points. He averages 4.5. But it's really been the defensive work, I'm sorry, the rebounding work that Tredick has been able to do. And you talked about him being the lunch pail kind of guy, and that's the working mentality that he's got down underneath.
Well, he almost has to do it because they're not very good around the back. They're not very good rebounding. You know, that's not to say they're not a good team. They're a pretty good team. But that's one of the things they're not good at. They're not rebounding. So anytime they play a big physical team, they're in jeopardy. They're in jeopardy a lot of times. And when you're counting on a 6'1" guy to be your leading rebounder, it's kind of scary. But he does a pretty good job of it when things are, you know, are the same. You know, when he's playing against guys his size or a little taller, he's going to get the rebounds because he's just that tough kind of a kid.
So the Indians have the ball, minute 5 to play in the game. This is Roman Delgado. A long 3, I think he was blocked partially by Max Summer. Edens gets the ball, but then before going out of bounds, throws it back in, and Tanner Tredick comes up with the basketball.
I wish I'd invested in fouls because I'd be a millionaire tonight. They're both teams in the double bonus, and 52 seconds. The game's pretty much under wraps for the Vikings, and yet the fouls are just coming all over the place.
And that means Tredick's going to go to the line to shoot 2 again. The foul's going to be against Edens.
When I was a player back in the day with Fred Flintstone, I used to love this time of the game because I was a guard and I'd have the ball all the time and guys would try to foul you. And I loved going to the foul. I was a 90% free throw shooter. So I'd get about 6 or 8 points in the last minute of the game and average double figures. You say, I'm a hell of a player, you know, just from making free throws.
Tredick missing the second. Morris pulls down the rebound for the Hart Indians. Delgado. Up on top to Maley. Long 3. Back of the rim, no good. But Delgado's going to pull it down and then throw it off of Tredick. So the Indians will maintain the possession. Shot clock is 33 seconds to play in the game. This is Delgado, and that may have been thwarted somewhat by Max Summer as he threw up nothing but air in that one.
This is a matter of just throw it to the open guy, pack your bags, and go home.
So the Vikings are going to win this one. They're going to go to 17-4 overall, 4-2 in league play. Interesting setup here, Greg, because with the Vikings in third, they're looking up at the Golden Valley Grizzlies and the Canyon Cowboys, depending on how they did tonight. But the Valencia Vikings going to 4-2, maintaining at least a hold of the third place spot. Does this team look like a team that would spend the first round of the playoffs on the road?
Yeah, they don't want to do that, and they better get in the second half against those teams that are ahead of them if they want to expect to be at home during the playoffs. I mean, it's tough duty because Canyon and Golden Valley are pretty good, and you don't want to have a slip up against West Ranch, who seems to be playing really good right now. So, I mean, it's hard for them to keep their focus, on the teams in front of them when these teams behind them are right, scratching to get in too. So I think that they need to learn to be intense for 32 minutes and not this inconsistency that they showed tonight.
Foothill League basketball, anything can happen.
That's
and
right.
We're only going to have 4 games to play in league after this, and so much is still on the line.
Yeah, first could be fourth could be first. I mean, isn't that a typical Foothill League season? We've seen it year after year. You never know till the last game's played who's going to be the champion.
Next game here on SCVTV Tuesday, as these Hart Indians will travel to Canyon to take on those Canyon Cowboys that we were just talking about a moment ago. So that's going to do it for us here at Hart High School. Again, the final score, the Valencia Vikings 65, the Hart Indians 51. For Greg Herrick and our entire crew, I'm Dave Caldwell. Thanks for being here, everyone, and we will see you again next time.